longer 1937.
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Disney is about to go bust. It is going terribly wrong. This is probably the worst weekend in history for Disney because we've had Snow White completely flop at the box office, and also something else very tragic has happened to Disney this weekend, which we will get to after Snow White, but that is also going to be costing them a heck of a lot of money. They picked this girl who hates the Snow White movie to do the remake. What a disastrous decision.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. I watched it for the first time in probably 17 years. The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power.
What a prick. I mean, she is so stuck up in her wokeness. It is unbelievable. And people absolutely despise her. They despise this remake of Snow White. I haven't gone and seen it, but I'll show you the press reviews in a moment, and you will see that clearly it's not something you should be rushing to the cinema to go and watch. I do not feel very inspired to go and watch it. This is a film that was one of the most expensive films that Disney has ever made. It cost them $270 million to make this remake of Snow White, and in this first weekend of it airing at the box office, it's only made $43 million in the US and $87.3 million globally. That is a complete disaster. This is going to lose Disney a heck of a lot of money. And just to give you another taste of who this Rachel Zegler girl is, this is what her expectation for the film was. Look, listen to how stuck up this sounds.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Well, I don't think there's a very big line to go and watch the Snow White remake with you in it, I'm afraid, Rachel. People are actively avoiding the film because you are in it. And Disney, they have been trying to get rid of Rachel, keep her out of the public eye as far as possible, because they need her to stop saying woke stuff in public to the press on the internet, because every time she opens her mouth, she just damages their reputation even more. Their premiere for the film, they decided to have like a tiny little premiere in a remote location rather than doing like a big show, because they didn't want Rachel anywhere near the press and anywhere near the cameras. They are embarrassed of her, but they spent so much money on this movie that they put it out. But honestly, like, I think this is going to cost them so much money and make them go bankrupt, because not only is it going to be the money they lose on this movie, but people are going to be actively boycotting Disney after this because they've gone so woke. And we're already seeing like the number of subscriptions for Disney Plus rapidly plummeting because people do not want anything to do with Disney after they literally butchered the childhood favourite Snow White. It was one of my favourite movies. I wasn't scared of it like Miss Rachel Zegler was, as she says in that video we looked at earlier. Let's look at some of the press reviews on this. This is so bad. The Independent, lazy, visually repellent, exhaustingly awful from The Guardian. I'll show you a bit more detail about what The Guardian have said in a moment, but you know it's bad when the woke Guardian don't even like your woke movie. Disney has trashed its reputation, says The Times. The HuffPost says a strange hot mess. Screen Daily says listless. good enough ... for TV, says Vanity Fair, and the BBC, woke BBC, doesn't even like it. Film has a major identity crisis. And as I said, that you know it's bad when The Guardian don't even like it. Look at that, 1 star out of 5 Snow White review. Disney's exhaustingly awful reboot axes the prince and makes the dwarves mocap with tiresome pseudo progressive additions that tie the whole thing in knots. This is a waste. That is so damning. And IMDb, this has been rated the worst of all the Disney princess movies ever made in all time. 2.3 stars out of 10. Does it get any worse than that? That is absolutely atrocious, right? And I told you guys at the start of this video that there is another reason why this weekend is like the worst weekend in history for Disney and they are going to lose so much money. Well, here it is. I'll show you. Disney World is on fire! It's up in flames. We've had Heathrow Airport on fire, and now we've got Disney World on fire. What the hell is going on? Look at the size of that. Look at that smoke. This is going to cost them so much money. They've had to evacuate the place, get everyone out. Presumably they're going to have to lose loads of money refunding load of tickets, rebuilding everything that's been burnt down. This is going to cost them millions and millions. This is a complete shit show. Could this weekend get any worse for Disney? Snow White, complete disaster, hundreds of millions of dollars lost. The share price of Disney absolutely plummeting. Disney Plus subscriptions absolutely plummeting. Everyone doesn't want anything to do with Disney anymore. And then the cherry on top, they honestly have a curse. It's that Disney World in Florida ends up on fire. I don't know yet exactly what the cause of this fire was, whether it was arson or whether it was some sort of accident. I don't know. We will find out in due course. But this is a disaster. Disney is going to go bankrupt. Anyway, I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you for watching this video. If you have seen the Snow White movie, let me know in the comments what you think of it. And subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. See you next time.